I now invite Professor Moshe Kam, IEEE President of 2011 and a professor at Drexel University, USA, to say a few words in memorial of the late Roger Pollard, who we all fondly remember.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the International IEEE Conference on Microwaves, Communications, Antennas, and Electronic Systems, COMCAS, has become a major and widely recognized event in the pertinent technical communities worldwide. Having emerged from a series of local chapter annual meetings in Israel, it has now become a platform for dissemination of new information and for knowledge exchange, whose impact exceeds by far the immediate effect of the face-to-face meeting, which is of course important in its own right. Having formally started in 2008, COMCAS has by now created a very respectable footprint in the technical literature, more than 400 technical papers in the IEEE Electronic Library, 160 of which have by now been cited by other publications, journal papers, conference papers, and doctoral dissertations. In case you were wondering, the second most cited paper from COMCAS, the COMCAS series of conferences so far, is Green Cellular, Optimizing the Cellular Network for Minimal Emission for Mobile Stations, by Esri and Shiloh of Green Air Wireless. The most cited COMCAS paper so far is on resource allocation in dense femto deployments by Ling, Chizik, and Valenzuela of Alcatel-Lucent. Both papers were published originally in COMCAS 2009, and in fact 85 articles of the ones presented here in 2009 and more than 50 of those presented here in 2011 have so far been cited in the archival literature. The growing success of COMCAS is the result of the dedication and hard work of the IEEE volunteers whose initiative and drive were the key to the instigation, organization, quality control, and growing reputation of COMCAS. They are headed this year by Shmuel Oster, who is the general chairman of the conference, and by Steve Weinstein, who heads the all-important program committee. In the remainder of my comments, I would like, however, to focus on the program co-chair of COMCAS in the last two conferences, in 2009 and 2011, our departed colleague, Roger Pollard. Roger was well known to many of you and made quite a name for himself in our professional community. He was a prominent British engineer and educator who was also a long-time volunteer of IEEE. It was with great sadness that we learned of his untimely death at the age of 65 on December 3rd, 2011. He was diagnosed with a terminal illness in October that year, and as he was mounting a campaign to become the IEEE president, the president of our 420,000 member organization. At the time of his death, Roger was the secretary of IEEE and member of the IEEE board of directors. Roger had served as chair of the IEEE Technical Activities Board in 2010 and as leader in several key IEEE volunteer positions, including in the Microwave Theory and Technique Society, of which he was president in 1998. He has always considered his most important IEEE achievement to have been his contribution to the creation and launch of the online IEEE Explore platform, the IEEE Electronic Library. This was the first massive digital library in engineering and science, and it serves now close to 3 million individual readers every year. This effort of Roger and other volunteers resulted in IEEE acquiring a leading position as a source of online authoritative technical information and made IEEE's intellectual property available to millions worldwide. Until September 2010, Roger served as the Agilent Technologies Chair in High-Frequency Measurements and as Dean of the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Leeds. He was previously the head of the School of Electronic and Electrical Engineering there and served as a faculty member since 1974. Roger was an active member of the Institute of Microwaves and Photonic and a well-known researcher of microwave passive and active devices. His personal research interests were in microwave network measurements, calibration and error correction, microwave and millimeter wave circuits, terahertz technology, and large signal and nonlinear characterization. In this area, he had contributed to 10 books, authored over 120 refereed publications, and was awarded several patents. His activity had also included significant industrial collaboration, mostly with Hewlett-Packard, then Agilent. For his scientific and engineering contributions, Roger Pollard was elevated to IEEE Fellow in 1997 and was elected to the UK Royal Academy of Engineering in 2005. He was also a chartered engineer and fellow of the Institute of Engineering and Technology. To his friends in IEEE, Roger Pollard exemplified the dedicated and fully committed IEEE volunteer. He has given to the organization of his time and intellectual effort generously and consistently for more than 25 years. He was a well-read and broadly educated man, and very often raised the level of conversation with his wide knowledge of literature, language, and the arts, and with his substantial understanding of law, political history, and economics. He was known as a passionate advocate of the organizational unit which he served and of the ideas and causes that he favored. He was a highly eloquent and persuasive speaker, not shying away from expressing strong opinions and decisive plans that often flew in the face of conventional wisdom and challenged the existing order. We expressed, and are expressing here again today, our heartfelt condolences to Roger Pollard's family, colleagues, and friends over this great loss. We take some solace in the many initiatives and projects he had led to success and whose substantial and positive impact will continue to benefit IEEE and its constituents for many years to come. Thank you.